Hi everyone, this is a presentation that is looking at essay writing and technical writing for university and how we incorporate top tips for teaching in the distance mode into those two courses. So firstly, it's really important to recognise that teaching by distance is quite different to teaching in the internal mode, and as more of us start to do that, we need to be aware of what we can be doing to make that a worthwhile experience for our students. So the first thing we'd like to talk about is how we can be there for our students if they're in the distance mode. In both these courses we use the Moodle technology to do that. So we make heavy use of the discussion forums and the news forum, and we also make sure that we respond to our students in a really timely manner within one working day at the very most is the time we give ourselves to get back to them. And in the future we're looking at things like using the online chat on Moodle, and also TWU is looking at incorporating video for their weekly messages to students. We need to make sure in the distance mode that our expectations are really clear for students so that they understand what they have to do, and we do that with through a number of means. One is by using video messages, one is through the discussion forums, and the other is in each weekly topic on Moodle. We make sure our instructions are really clear for them as to what they need to complete each week. Responding to distance students is really important. So we've already said that we respond to them in a timely fashion. We also expect that students respond to us in a timely fashion, so that communication is working both ways and working effectively, and we explicitly state that when we're communicating with our students. We try and cultivate in both courses an environment of excellence, and one way that we do that is providing models and samples of student work from previous terms so that current students have an understanding of what's expected of them. Feedback is all important, so we use the end of term course and teaching evaluations to get feedback on what we're doing well and what we could do better, and we incorporate that into our course. And we also use assessment as a way of feeding back to students how they're doing as they're going through the course. So our criteria sheets are really important, as are our descriptions of the tasks for students, so they can understand what the learning outcomes are that we expect of them. We use our assessment also as a means of building the skills of students as they move through the course, and for that reason, particularly in the distance mode, we have to make really explicit in our instructions what the connection is between the different pieces of assessment. We make sure in our distance teaching in both courses that we open and wrap the weekly activities each week, so we bookend using the Moodle communication tools so they know where they should be starting and where they should be finishing each week. We use the technology in a simple, user-friendly way, so that goes for Moodle and as well as other files and resources that we provide for students. We take time to make sure Moodle's ready to go live, and we respond to any problems as soon as we can. We work together as colleagues teaching distance, and this involves dealing with often casual staff members as well as permanent staff members, and we encourage students to use the technology to make connections and build a community for themselves as well, so they can make the most of their study. In terms of workload, as staff members working in the distance mode, we don't try and reinvent the wheel. If something's working, we don't change it, and we also try and eliminate doubling up information that we present to students. Our first top tip is that students want to feel connected with us, and in EWU, video has been a really effective way of doing that, and that's something that TWU is going to introduce in the future. And our second top tip is that it's really vital that students get started effectively at the beginning of the course, so using the introduction forums and assessment to give them feedback is a really important thing to do, as is following up people who haven't engaged with the course either by ringing, phoning or communicating with them in another way. So that in a nutshell is teaching by distance in EWU and TWU.